Welcome to the Community FactFinder Handbook information video. This video is designed to help applicants understand and use the Community FactFinder tool for the Statewide Park Development and Community Revitalization Program. Throughout this video, we'll refer to the Community FactFinder as CFF and the Statewide Park Community Development and Revitalization Program as SPP. To locate the CFF handbook, we're going to go to parks.ca.gov/SPP. And as you can see, we're already on the website. Next, we're going to scroll down to the Technical Assistance Resources. From here, we're going to continue to the Community FactFinder Resources section. Next, we'll click on CFF Handbook. As you can see, the 2026 CFF Handbook cover is identified by title, date, and Proposition 4 branding. The 2026 CFF Handbook is designed to guide applicants through the CFF tool and explain how to properly use CFF data during the SPP application process. The project examples shown in this handbook are for training purposes only and are not intended to promote any specific project or community. The Statewide Comprehensive Outdoor Recreation Plan, or SCORP team, manages the CFF tool. Before determining whether a report contains an error, applicants should carefully review steps 4 through 6 of the handbook. If an applicant believes there is an error in their CFF report, they can contact the SCORP team at scorp@parks.ca.gov. That's SCORP@parks.ca.gov. You'll see that here on the handbook overview page. Words shown in small caps are defined in the SPP application guide, which is also found on the SPP website. Now let's get into and review the CFF. The CFF is an online mapping tool that combines information from the California Protected Areas Database, or CPAD, with American Community Survey data. Using this information, the tool calculates park acreage and community data within a half-mile radius of any project site in California. The half-mile radius serves two important purposes. First, it helps applicants identify projects that align with SPP priorities. And second, it creates a consistent way to measure the following: park acreage per 1,000 residents, poverty levels, climate vulnerability, median household income. Using the same statewide data for every application helps ensure consistency and fairness during the review process. The CFF also provides a consistent scoring method and centralizes required application data in one place. Applicants may only submit reports generated using the CFF report tool. On your screen is an example of a CFF report. Applicants must also submit a signed CFF certification form confirming the report is accurate. You can find this form on the SBP webpage as well. Steps 1 through 8 and their corresponding pages are listed at the bottom of page 2 in the CFF Handbook. At step 1, applicants will access the CFF mapping tools online. Applicants can access the CFF in 2 ways. The first is by going to parksforcalifornia.org/communities or at www.parks.ca.gov/SPP, which is up on the screen now. From the SPP website, we're going to scroll again to the technical assistance section. Community FactFinder resources, and click on Community FactFinder tool. This will open the CFF webpage. To confirm you are on the correct page, you're going to locate the following 4 areas. 1 is the program name, which is the Statewide Parks Program Community FactFinder. 2, the Park Access tab in the right corner, top corner there. Next is the project site search bar. And next is the report generation button. By default, this report button appears black and gray. Once information is entered into the search bar, the button changes to red and white, indicating the report can be generated. There are 3 ways to search for a project site. The first option is to search using the name of the nearest city. In this example, Reading is entered into the search bar before clicking the report button. The CFF will display a map within the half-mile radius. The map now displays a satellite view with a black circle representing the half-mile radius. Black pin tip represents the project site location. Second way to search for a project site is by entering the longitude and latitude coordinates. In this example, both coordinates are entered before selecting the report button. The last option is to use the address. In this example, we will use the address 4000 Victor Avenue, Reading, California 96002. After entering the address, we will click the report button, which you can see is white and red. Use the zoom controls in the upper right corner of the map to adjust the satellite view. Applicants can manually position the black pin tip by dragging it and zooming in or out to locate the desired project site. Step 3 introduces the 3 primary CFF data tools. The first tool is the half-mile radius starting point. Black pin tip serves as the center point for the radius and may be moved anywhere within the project site boundary to gather data. The second tool displays demographic and park acreage information in 3 categories: income and poverty, climate vulnerability, parks and car access. Income and poverty data are generated using American Community Survey and census data. Climate vulnerability data is generated using the California Natural Resources Agency's Vulnerable Communities platform. High-ranking climate vulnerability areas may include extreme heat, flooding, sea level rise, drought, and wildfire. The Parks and Car access data is generated using the California Protected Areas database. Calculation methods are available on the Parks for California website. The third tool is the green overlay. This tool helps identify parcel information from local, state, and federal agencies stored within California's Protected Areas database. In this example, two green overlays that represent parks and open space appear within the half-mile radius. To the bottom right, you can see a Layers tab. An important tip here: if you click on this Layers tab, it will bring up the map's many layers. By default, the map layer shows parks and open space and high-rank climate vulnerability. Applicants can check and uncheck the layers to view the map more clearly. By clicking the Disadvantaged Communities and Severely Disadvantaged Communities layer, you'll see each layer show up on the map in the half-mile radius. If applicants have not selected a project site, these layers may help them locate a site for their project. The map description section identifies each overlay by number, park name. Number, property name, access type, and acreage. This section includes properties both inside and outside the selected half-mile radius. Only parks located within the selected half-mile radius are counted in the CFF report. Parks outside the radius are displayed for reference, but are not included in the calculation. Step 4 explains how park acreage is counted. Applicants are responsible for reviewing the full half-mile radius and identifying any park acreage that may need to be added or removed from the report. Applicants must also submit a signed CFF certification form confirming the report is accurate. Applicants can find this form on the SPP website. If an applicant believes there is a park acreage error in the CFF report, they may submit a request for evaluation. The evaluation process is discussed in greater detail in step 6. Applicants should also review the definition of park in the SPP application guide. Land should be counted as park acreage if all 3 of the following conditions are met. The property includes outdoor open space. The property is open for authorized public recreation use. The property is owned by a local, state, or federal public agency. All 3 elements must be present for acreage to be counted in the CFF. Land should not be counted as park acreage if it does not meet all three required conditions mentioned recently. It is privately owned open space. It is school property without a joint use agreement and public park signage. When reviewing properties with green overlays, enter the property name into any mapping tool online. Confirm the property address or the latitude and longitude. And verify that the location is a public park. If the property is not a public park, document the information and report the acreage addition or removal request. The reporting process will be covered in Step 6. Reviewing properties in a satellite view and using a mapping tool may help applicants better evaluate park acreage. In this example, the green property may initially appear to be a public park. However, it is actually a school football field with restricted public access. Without a public use agreement in place, this acreage is not counted by the CFF since it is a school property. Step 6 explains how to report park acreage additions or removals to the SCORP team. The first step is establishing a reference point for the property by downloading an XLSX report using the CFF tool. To create the report, we'll place the black pin tip on the property location. Next, you will click the Download XLSX report button, and an Excel report will automatically generate, as you can see here. Next, you will save the XLSX report to your computer. Next, prepare an email describing the issue and attach that XLSX report. Then you'll send that email to scorp@parks.ca.gov. Be sure to keep a copy of the email request for your records. An important tip here: send acreage addition or removal requests at least 1 month before the application deadline. Within 2 weeks of receiving the request, the SCORP team will send an email to the applicant providing a determination. It typically takes 1 to 2 months for updates to be made to the CFF after the SCORP team approves a request. If the SCORP team receives a high volume of requests right before the application deadline, the application review process may be delayed. Applicants who report an acreage addition prior to the application deadline will be able to review a new CFF report after the CFF update is complete. Step 7 focuses on selecting a specific point within the project site for project selection criteria scoring. As you move the black pin tip within the boundary of the project site, there may be a competitive edge. Be aware of the following eligible and competitive factors. To remain eligible, the project site must at least one of the following conditions: less than 3 acres per 1,000 residents, median household less than $77,067, and project is in proximity to one or more climate vulnerabilities. And again, to remain eligible, the project site must meet at least one of those conditions. Competitiveness rankings are based on park acreage per 1,000 people, median household income, number below poverty, and the number of climate vulnerabilities within proximity of the project site. Applicants can refer to pages 15 through 18 for project site examples to demonstrate how the pin tip placement may affect eligibility and competitiveness. An important tip here is before creating the final report, applicants should make sure the pin tip is inserted in the boundary of the project site, not outside of the project site. To create the final report, applicants will select Download Report, save the XLSX report, upload the report to checklist item number 3 in the application portal, and applicants should not forget to include the signed CFF certification form as well in the application portal for checklist item number 3. The Office of Grants and Local Services uses the project ID number to confirm the exact report location. This process helps ensure reports are generated correctly and consistently. The final page of the handbook contains the CFF checklist. This checklist helps applicants confirm that all 8 steps have been completed before submitting the application. It does not need to be submitted with the application. It's just a tool for applicants to make sure they went through this. If you have any questions about the CFF tool or handbook, applicants should contact their assigned competitive review project officer listed on the SPP website. Show you that. And you want to look at the competitive project officer column, and project officers are assigned by county. We thank you for your time today and for joining us for this CFF tool run through. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.